to a local wrestling show. Kids were wildin' in the front row. It was peak guys being dudes, just a bunch of bros coordinating moves. They took flour and slaps in the face. Did they sign a waiver for this space? I think that guy is possibly. The mat looks like a waterbed. See a man give it all he has, and then drink beers with his dad. Go support your local wrestling show.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey, yo.
And over yonder, making the magic happen, just finding these gold cold opens, super producer JD.
I think you sent me that one.
Oh, did I? Good.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. It was actually sent by a fan to a bunch of us on IG, and I wanted to really make sure you saw it because it made me chuckle. Just a beautiful little song about indie wrestling.
AI, I think the song is.
Oh. AI?
Yeah, because I went to the guy's channel, and it's all AI music.
Oh, interesting.
It's pretty interesting.
Oh, now I'm soured on it.
Well, still funny.
Still very funny. Very
Hey,
funny.
even these wrestling songs aren't real.
Hey. All right. Shout out to everybody joining us live on YouTube. We love to see it. Hit the like button, subscribe, podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. On today's show, we're going to hit the beach to answer some of your emails and tweets, and we'll get you all set for tonight's 2 NBA Cup knockout games.
Yeah, baby.
Win, and you see us in Vegas. Those are the stakes. But we had one normal regular season game on last night. Yeah, it was up in Canada. Well, it was actually entertaining.
Yeah, it was a cool game.
Karl Anthony Towns returned from a 1-game absence. We were wondering if he was going to play. He did. He was awesome. 24 points, 15 boards, as the Knicks held on to beat the Raptors 113-108 for their 5th win in 6 games. Cat, I guess, broke the tie there late with about 36 seconds to go off a nice Brunson pass, and then he sealed the deal, Tass, with that deep 3-pointer to put the Knicks up comfortably, and then he was pointing at his chest, New York, baby, and they get the win. But entertaining, but what jumped out to you?
Yeah, he sealed it with that one there, making it a 5-point game. Listen, I was kind of disappointed that there's just one game on the schedule going into this one, thinking the schedule is just giving us quarterfinals after quarterfinals, so they only put one game on the schedule. But I was pleasantly surprised that this was a close game going down the stretch. The Raptors continue to get to the last minute, and it is painful. That's just what happens with Toronto Raptors basketball. Scotty Barnes left this game, had an ankle injury. I don't want to laugh at what happened to Scotty Barnes, but the way he responded was kind of funny. He almost laughed while he was getting hurt with his goggles. He had to leave the game, but RJ Barrett just carried this team all the way to the end, over and over, going to the rim, over and over and over. So with 1:30 left, them down 2, I was very surprised that Tony Brothers referee didn't allow him an and one. When that's what he did. He had an and one. He continued to go to the rim. I don't usually complain about the referees, but come on. I mean, RJ Barrett only got 2 free throws in this game. He obviously goes to the rim extremely hard every single possession. I'm not asking for a star foul. I'm not calling him Star J Barrett or RJ Starrett or whatever they call him. He should have got an and one opportunity. Instead, they get the ball and they miss that possession. But RJ just goes to the rim. I was surprised to see that he's got the 3rd most shots at the rim this season. It's Giannis, then Zion Williamson, and all bigs around RJ Barrett, who continues to go to the rim. So I was surprised by that. It's a guy who goes to the rim. There's only one game on, Tony. Just give him the and one. Brunson wasn't even trying to keep him on the ground. RJ Barrett was able to go through Jalen Brunson's arms pretty damn easily, so that hurt. It obviously also hurts not to see Scotty Barnes at the end of the game, to see how this Raptors team would act in these close games, because we don't see it enough, along with Emmanuel Quickley. I know we don't talk about him, but we're just not seeing all these guys work possessions at the end of games. We're not seeing what they got for OG Anunoby in both RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley.
I have a
at the end
stat
of games.
that speaks to that. RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Scotty Barnes, and Emmanuel Quickley, the 4 best players on the Raptors, at least moving forward, they've played 18 minutes together this season. You're right. It's unfortunate that someone or 2 of them is always hurt. And yeah, Scotty having to leave this game didn't help.
Yeah, and RJ, they do end up tying the game, and RJ tries. Well, it wasn't a tie at this point, but anyways, RJ got blocked by OG Anunoby. You could say, well, he should have passed the ball. It doesn't really matter. Either way, he freaking worked his ass off to get 30 points, only 2 free throws, and then Karl-Anthony Towns comes the other way with a 29-foot three-point shot. I know he calls himself the best big man three-point shooter, but damn, if you're taking it out 29 feet, that's freaking far.
It's a bomb.
RJ probably shouldn't have left him on that one. But anyway, it's just hard to guard when a guy shoots like that. So great performance by the Knicks, considering they had a lousy performance against the Pistons right before this game.
Yeah, what'd you think, TK?
Towns was awesome. You mentioned the pick and roll that him and Brunson ran to get the bucket that put him up first, hit him with a couple of pump fakes. Awesome pass by Brunson. The defense was great by Towns on the OG block. Santa Clauses him, hit him with the belly, stood him right up, gave OG enough chance to come back on the other side and block it from behind, because OG got screened off pretty hard by Pirtle. I think he was about at the free throw line before he was able to recover for the block, and then the deep three on RJ Barrett, who just put his hands down for like a split second, and that's enough for Towns to knock it down. I thought he was great, and I thought Jalen Brunson honestly orchestrated everything for the Knicks down the stretch. He had the 4-point play that started the run that ended the game, 12-4 for the Knicks. He had 11 assists in this one. 7 of those came in the second half with 0 turnovers. It's his 7th double-digit assist game of the season, or James Edwards said over at The Athletic. He had 9 all of last season. His scoring is a little bit down. He's barely outscoring Towns this season for the Knicks, but he's making up for it by distributing the ball. There's so much space out there that the Raptors were double teaming Brunson, trying to get the ball out of his hands, and he was making the right play every single time. The rest of the Knicks were then, therefore, able to finish the plays. Great performance by Towns and Brunson, I thought, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and then Bridges hitting three-pointers for the Knicks. I think he went 5 of 8 from deep. OG, filling up the box score, but defensively making sort of the play of the game there where he got back into it and got the block on RJ. This team, the Knicks, man, I looked it up. It feels like they never miss a shot. They're 50% from the field as a team this season. 39.9% from deep, so let's call it 40%. That's 50-40. Can they get the 90? No, that's very difficult as a team. That's damn near impossible.
Especially once Mitchell Robinson comes back.
True, but they're league-leading 81.5% from the free throw line. So 50-40, 81.5. As a team, a quarter of the way into the season, that's lights out here, and it only feels like they're getting better as they get more comfortable with each other offensively. So yeah, monster game there from Cat and their star players, like you said. Brunson, who was coming back from some injuries within this game too. That was a beautiful left-hand pass and great catch from the big man there, Cat, and having to reach over sort of at his feet there because it came through traffic, and then a little pump fake party, calmly put it in, and then he hit the 3. But man, the Raptors task, like I swear to God, I've watched this Raptors game I want to say like 7 or 8 times this season. It's the same thing. They play really, really hard. The rookies show some flashes, which they did in this game. There's usually an injury or two, unfortunately.
Yes.
And then they just can't come through in the clutch despite RJ Barrett's best efforts. Like they just come short. And it sort of happened again 7, 8, maybe 9 times this season, which on one hand, it's like at least they're competitive. They're learning here. You'd like to maybe see some more W's, but then there's a lot of people saying, take the year off. This is a great draft class. Maybe be flirting with being one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the league. Let the Raptors fans check out tankathon.com every morning and sim that lottery. So, I would like to see a couple more W's, but they're at least in these games, and it's an learning experience. I'm with you, Tass. I want to see the team play together because they really haven't. They're star guys, I guess.
They're absolutely not tanking when they get to these last couple minutes of each and every game where they can't finish it off. But it was surprising to me to see Davion Mitchell come off the bench. 2 huge buckets in the last 2 minutes of this game. Monstrous. Also, Jonathan Mobo, monstrous plays in the fourth quarter. So when Scotty Barnes is out, Emmanuel Quickley, 2 of your top 3 guys would go out, and to see them get to that last minute, it was damn impressive.
And Jacoby Walter.
Jacoby Walter was huge.
Best game of his career.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
19 points for the Rook, 6 of 12, hit some threes. Yeah. And all in 22 minutes of action.
A guy who's missed training camp and in his rookie season missed a bunch of the games to start this season, so we haven't seen a lot of him. But I love how Jack Armstrong, Raptors color broadcaster, calls him Walter. Walter. I'm good with that. You're from upstate New York. You can call anybody Walter because he he was working his butt off, and it was odd to see him step on the sideline there as they tried to get another 3-point shot right at the end of the game. That was weird. But again, guys like Davion Mitchell, Jakob Poeltl even, he had a good game to get these guys to this point. But a great effort, obviously, by like OG Anunoby. When you put all these pieces together, you see why this team should be able to rival against the Celtics and the Knicks. When the pieces work together, excuse me, not that they shouldn't rival themselves, but yeah, they obviously have those pieces. And Mikal Bridges, you know, he ain't scoring all that much all the time, but he's gotten better right now.
Yeah, he's had the best, so slowly,
the best stretch of his game here. He's had monstrous games recently. For him, anyway.
Yeah, 5 threes last night. He hit one in the corner with about 90 seconds left, and he tipped his cap to Bruce Brown.
Yes, okay, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, because Bruce Brown, he is committed to the cowboy look. This
he had
guy
on Wranglers and a fringed leather jacket last night, of course, with his cowboy hat. I think he's literally a Stetson brand ambassador.
Oh,
he has to wear one of these every night. And now you got guys hitting threes and saying, tip of the cap to
absolutely,
you,
that's what he did.
That was awesome.
Have we asked Bruce Brown his thoughts on the season of Yellowstone currently going on right now? As I would love to know. But this stat from Joe Cash here blew my mind, and it illustrates sort of how good this bad Raptors team is this season. Because, you know, I know we're homers here, but listen to this. The Raptors have still won more quarters than they've lost this season, despite being 11 games under 500. So they've won more quarters of games, 49, 46, and 5, I guess is the shakeout there, with them winning more than losing those quarters. And again, yeah, this is despite them having just a brutal record here. So how long can they keep that up? That is a wild stat. Again, that would be something like 5 or 10 games in, let alone 20-plus games. So nuts stuff. Anything else on this game?
Yeah, I wonder how the Grady Dick experience is going here, just because he's had to do a lot here in year number 2. And you saw that opportunity where he kind of got caught in between. Either he's going to dunk the ball or shoot the ball, and he fell into the cameraman. The Raptors broadcasters call him the cameraman by his name. He just hit, I forget his name, but hit him directly after he fell into him. And I just wonder if Grady Dick has gotten injured this season. He's, had to shoot a ton and started the season great, and sort of just fallen off a little bit recently, also missing some games. So I wonder how that's going for him physically, because he said, the core's what got me here and got him better, but he just hasn't looked the same. He hasn't looked quite right. It's just odd again. No Barnes, no Quickly, it sucks. 5 turnovers in the third quarter, 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter for this team. That's too many damn turnovers to end this game.
And it sounds like Quickly's out even a little bit longer, huh?
Yeah.
Getting re-examined for his elbow, which he had surgery on already. Bruce Brown hasn't played yet this season. So, yeah, Dick does feel like he's slowing down a little bit, but he's completely overtasked. He should not be the number 2 guy on this team, but he's been the number 2 guy most of the season due to injuries.
You're totally right. Yeah, Quickly doesn't seem like he's come back. He was excited to see his guy against his old team doing really well. That was cool for them. You could see he was jumping off the bench over and over to shake hands with RJ Barrett. He wanted to play against his old team, but he's just keeps getting injured, man, over and over and over.
And we'll see how serious this ankle injury is to Scotty Barnes. I mean, it didn't look good. He was basically had to be helped off the floor by his teammates. I think Darko said it wasn't any structural damage or something like that, but I mean, Barnes already missed, 11 games when he got popped in the face with the right orbital fracture there. He came back wearing the goggles, the glasses, but I think the Raptors went 2-9 without Scotty Barnes. He's important. I mean, the guy's nearly averages a triple-double. He's their point guard, especially without Quickly. So, hopefully it's not all that serious. But, hey, look, entertaining game with only one game on the schedule last night between the Knicks and the Raps. But let's hit the beach.
You got the buzz, I got the rockets. You got the nuts, I got the chocolates. We got that chit chat down pat, blah blah blah. You got that certain special, je ne sais quoi. Let's go to the beach, baby.
JD, please don't tell me AI wrote that song. Please. Don't break my heart.
No way.
Okay, good. We're on the beach because it's the only place to read your emails and your tweets. And first one actually came by Instagram. Slid into the DMs. And we pulled it because it was a good one. Been listening since the Basketball Jones. Love you guys. I came across a good piece of trivia. Who is the only player as of right now to win Most Improved and make the Hall of Fame? I won't spoil that for you if you don't know. Do you guys know the answer to... So did you know before maybe looking it up?
I didn't know before looking at it.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good trivia question. The answer is Tracy McGrady. He's the only MIP recipient to be named to the Basketball Hall of Fame currently. But I was looking at the list of winners who are active and wondering how many will make it. 3 seem like locks: Giannis, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George, which will surely be a selection the internet loves. Kevin Love is a borderline Hall of Fame worthy player. Ja Morant is on track. Some others where it's hard to say, maybe Siakam, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, obviously way too early for Maxey, but when it's all said and done, how many current MIPs will be Hall of Famers? Oh, true sicko question here. Thanks. That is from Nick. So, yeah, what did you think about this?
Fun question.
Yeah, that's sort of fun.
Because you always think of MVPs and how basically all of them are in the Hall of Fame, except for Derrick Rose. Maybe there's just one who doesn't get in the Hall of Fame, and maybe there's just one who gets in the Hall of Fame for most improved. Just kidding. There's going to be more. But right now, there's only one. The Tracy McGrady one is odd because as Toronto Raptors fans, it was the year he left Toronto that he went and just had a bigger role in Orlando. And he left Toronto because he didn't have a freaking role. Blame Butch Carter. Who you got mad
Butch.
at? Blame Butch. Chris Carter's brother, former NFL player, Chris Carter's brother. That's weird to think.
Really?
About.
That's weird.
Yeah. And,
Cool.
Yeah.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah, but Butch wanted more of a job, wanted a bigger job with the Raptors, and the Raptors just fired him, and then he never got another job.
Yeah, I was going to say, did he ever coach again?
No, he did not.
No.
It's an interesting story. There should be a little doc on that. Anyway, so who gets in? There's got to be, I think, 3 more guaranteed.
3 more in addition to Giannis, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler.
Well, yeah,
Is
no.
that what you're saying?
In addition to that, in addition to Paul George, Butler, I was counting them as the 3 more guaranteed.
Oh, sorry.
Giannis guaranteed, obviously,
Yeah.
and John Morant most likely. You know, we'd say who knows at this point.
Yeah,
It's too early.
it's early.
Okay, the big question is Kevin Love. I'd say, does Kevin Love get in? I don't know.
I have him in.
Yeah, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. Obviously, the championship. He didn't score enough, but just there's enough of a story. You think
He didn't score enough, huh?
Yeah, I don't think he scored enough.
I mean, he scored a ton when he was on Minnesota, scored decently when he was on Cleveland. You got to compare him to other guys that are in, and that's why Kevin Love is going to definitely get in. I think he also made a Final Four when he was in college. He played on LeBron's most famous championship team. The guy's getting in.
Okay, so that's 4 then, if you agree with Jimmy, Paul George, and Giannis. Which
Absolutely,
I assume
they're
you do.
getting in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about Kevin Love just because, like, he wasn't prominent on that championship team. Richard Jefferson started for him in the finals, and listen, I would put him in just because I would put him in, but I'm not sure. I know the bar is getting lower and lower and lower, but beyond that, is there anybody you'd even think about this point?
I don't think so. We named a lot of them. The one I thought was a big what if he never got injured was Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas was sort of like Ja Morant on his way early in his career, right? He averaged 28 points per game, 6 assists, 4 boards over a 3-year span for the Wizards. He was a 3-time All-Star and a 3-time All-NBA selection, which caught me by surprise, but Agent Zero there was pretty special, and then obviously injury sort of derailed his career. I think he would have been on his way, maybe, to a potential Hall of Fame career, and he obviously won Most Improved in his similar, I guess, to McGrady, and that sort of coming over from the Warriors to eventually to the Wizards, where he was the star guard. But that was it. That was it for players. I mean, outside of, I did have to edit something from this Instagram message. He had said Shea, Hall of Famer probably, and I was like, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't remember him winning Most Improved, and he did not. So that was just a minor mistake there. But I think we named most of them.
Yeah, I looked at every single one. Siakam is on there, 2-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star NBA champ.
I think it's unlikely.
That's unlikely.
I got him as a maybe. I think he had a better chance before he went to Indiana. Doesn't seem like he's going to be necessarily adding to the accolades as time goes on.
That's sort of what I think.
I also got Maxey and Ja as maybes, kind of along the lines of Gilbert Arenas sort of case. They had a great start to the season, to their careers. Let's see how they turn out.
Yep.
Then the guys I had questions about, sounds ridiculous, Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle. I don't think so.
I doubt it.
But I also don't think DeMar DeRozan should have been a Hall of Famer. But I think DeMar DeRozan is going to end up a Hall of Famer. He's going to play a ton of seasons,
Play forever.
end up with a ton of counting stats, all-stars, this kind of thing. Obviously, Ingram's got 1 all-star appearance. I think Randall's got a couple. Got some all-NBAs as well. They're going to be around long enough since they came into the NBA at 19. What if they play 20 years and score 25,000 points? Like, they're going to have cases.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that looking at this, all of the potential most improved players to be Hall of Famers are from like the last 10 years because the way that the award has been decided has completely changed. They used to give it to a guy like Tracy McGrady who never played and then suddenly played, and it's like, whoa, this was actually a Hall of Fame talent that was buried. Now they're just identifying guys who are going to become stars and giving them award before they become a superstar.
I guess one name we maybe overlooked from an older generation a little bit, Jermaine O'Neal. Like, he's not making the Hall of Fame, is he? 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA? Like, is that
He's probably eligible at this point, right?
I would think so, but he did win an MIP way back.
He's been out of the NBA for 10 years. I don't think he's getting in.
Probably not. His name
Probably
almost,
not.
I can't remember his name coming up when we
Right.
talk about these every year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I looked at everybody. Lowry Markkinen has a chance one day. Probably not. I mean, he has to accumulate a lot between now and the end of his career. But I looked at a guy like Victor Oladipo, who is not getting in. But if he didn't get injured, yeah, maybe. Goran Dragic, if he won that championship in 2020, if he wasn't hurt, he got hurt in that NBA Finals when Jimmy Butler pulled that Miami Heat team to the finals. In a similar, like, guys who win championships is all I'm pointing at, quite often get in. And that's why I think Kevin Love, where you talked about Trey, he probably gets in. The championship definitely helps.
Fun question there, Nick. Got us thinking about most improved players and their Hall of Fame careers. I love it. Sicko stuff.
Great stuff.
Next one. Hey, no donkeys. I was listening to today's drop, and when Trey mentioned his theory about good NBA guards, bracket, they need to be able to dance, it got a chuckle out of me, and it also got me thinking, what are other wacky NBA rules about players you have? Mine, good NBA centers must have a special hyperfixation interest. For example, Jokic with horses, Miles Turner and Derek Lively with Lego, Embiid with pro wrestling. Okay. Thanks for all the entertainment and happy holidays to the whole crew. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome. That's from Jack B. And that's not an initial B. It's Jack B.E. All one word.
Jack
What's up?
B. Nimble?
Sure.
Jack B. Quick?
He'd be all over that.
Okay, why don't you go first here, TK? You did have the infamous all good NBA guards can probably dance.
Yeah.
Or need to be able to dance.
You got to have some wiggle if you're a guard or if you're on the dance floor. And I don't know. I thought Jack was not cooking when he was talking about centers with a hyperfixation. But then I'm like, Shaq had several hyperfixations.
Oh, interesting.
Wilt Chamberlain had a notable hyperfixation.
Yes, he did. What about Kareem?
He had like 3,000 jazz records.
That was Kareem's thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a big jazz guy.
You got to have one really crazy interest.
Exactly. You got to...
Be it horses, jazz music, or women.
Something off the court to take your mind off of things, to feel recharged every time you go back on, not just like a freak being out there 7 feet tall. I got interest. I'm not just a basketball player.
Yeah.
I'm a fully grown, well-rounded person. Along those lines, if you're over 6'8", you should never take a charge. Shameful
That's a good
stuff.
one. That's a good one,
You're too
yes.
tall to be falling down on the floor.
Yeah, it's
you can take a
dangerous,
charge
too.
from a guy who's taller.
Oh, okay.
We'll accept that. Like Steve Novak, you can take a charge on Shaq.
Okay.
I will allow it. But in general, if the heights are equivalent, stay on your feet.
Okay.
Number two,
Kevin Love's not getting in the Hall of Fame then. He took some charges.
he took some charges. Unfortunately, they got a lot of floppers in there. I don't like guards who can't shoot.
Okay. Fair.
I do like guards from Kentucky or Seattle.
I'm with you on that.
Yep, they're always good. They are always good. Maybe it's going to change. Maybe the Kentucky part of things now that Calipari is an Arkansas guy.
I think so.
I don't think I'm going to be able to bring myself to be like, ooh, that Arkansas basketball player was sick.
Yeah. Go Razorbacks.
Yeah, the Hogs. I do like that name, but Seattle guards are awesome. It's like Jason Terry, Jamal Crawford, Nate Robinson, Brandon Roy, Zach LaVine, all buckets. The complete opposite of the defense first guards, who are my least favorite archetype of player.
Sure. I love those. I have one I'll add to this, sort of a wacky NBA rule about players. I think you need to be a cool-ass hooper to wear number 1. Okay, and I think this started in the 90s, becoming a fan. And you had, first off, Rod Strickland, who I thought was just a cool-ass point guard. He wore number 1, late 90s, early 2000s. Or I guess most of the 90s he wore it, I should say. Anthony Hardaway comes along. Penny comes along in mid-90s. He's cool. Tracy McGrady's basically next in 97. Baron Davis wore number 1 when he was before his Warriors days, when he was an all-star and stuff like that. Then it Chauncey Billups started wearing number 1. Now, Chauncey Billups, I don't think of the cool hooper. Cool ass nickname. Balls of steel. Guy hit clutch shots, so maybe there's that. Then there's Derrick Rose. So I'm looking at today's cool number 1s. There's Booker. There's LaMelo. There's Amen Thompson, I guess, who I really like. He wears number 1. But then there's the giant. There's the alien. I was usually talking guards here, but now we got Wembanyama. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's a rule. I know there are a bunch of other examples where there's not the coolest players that wear number 1. I get that, but that's just a rule to me that you should have to wear them.
One's a cool number.
You gotta be a cool number.
Yep.
You gotta be a cool player, specifically a guard to me, to wear number 1. Wemby's breaking the rules with that.
I don't have really a great direct answer, but I have something that's happening in the NBA that when I was at the Hawks-Lakers game on Friday, I saw a person, and maybe you have to notice it a person more, but I think 50% of players overall are wearing butt pads. And by butt pads, I just mean, a cushioned undergarment to prevent them getting injured. But I see a lot of butt pads out there.
50%.
I'm probably overestimating, but I think guards who want to protect their ass are wearing them. More so guards, more so smaller players, which is a weird thing to think about. But
Maybe
guys who go to
They fall more, probably.
they fall more. But bigs get hit more. Anyways, they want to protect their butts. So I see them. I was staring at butts. It's just what happened out there. And I was also staring at butts because something which needs to end are baby blue jerseys, I got to say. We've seen them with the Memphis Grizzlies where you see the sweat going through those jerseys. And the Hawks wear this jersey shorts combo that's not 100% baby blue, but it's got some baby blue where you can see sweat coming through the butt.
Oh,
it's weird.
It's not a good color for sweat. To hide sweat.
It's not. It's weird. So I saw Bogdanovich's butt sweat, and it's kind of strange. It's just kind of strange that happens. This is the only color. Maybe it's the quality of the jersey.
Well, how is it any different from any of the other jerseys? It's the color. It's the color.
It's the color, and there's
there's so many other jerseys that have no color, no
but
sweat.
that baby blue just gets super dark when it's wet. Mm-hmm. From sweat or other.
Same as when you wear a light blue dress shirt on the show. Your
pits are screwed.
Yeah. But if you've got the wrong material for a white jersey, the same thing can happen. It happens with the Spurs, white and brown jerseys that they wear. They look too sweaty. And last year's Denver Nuggets jersey is if you're wearing a black undershirt with them, you just look too sweaty right away. It gets dingy looking, like you've washed the jersey 100 times already.
Yeah, it's not crisp. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But there's ones out there like the land ones for the Cavs. Right, the baby blue. You don't see sweat in those ones.
Yeah.
I think it's the type of material that the Grizzlies are using, and the Hawks are using for their throwbacks, which are pretty. They're nice jerseys.
Pretty just when they're hanging on the hanger, maybe not on the body.
I think don't the Sacramento Kings have their
baby blue?
They're wearing Royal Blues right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more of a
those
Royal.
are old schools.
Yeah. Royale. Remember they brought that guy back? That's another cool number 1 for you, Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
Hey, good call. Yeah. All right, next question here. Hello, No Dunks crew. Saw another sweet Kevin Love outlet pass last night.
Baby.
Damn, let's talk Kevin Love again. And I was thinking about other guys who could be on the all Liam Neeson team. People with a particular set of skills. Okay, that's the all Liam Neeson team. Any other guys you can think of, either past or present? The other two that popped in my head for this team were Peyton Pritchard with his half-court shots, good one, and Rudy Gobert with his screen assists. Keep up the amazing content as always. Special shout out to the Monday night playbacks. Makes me sort of look forward to Mondays. That's from Mark from VA from Virginia. Mark, hope to see you tonight on playback when we get into the NBA Cup games.
It's not Monday.
No, didn't do one last night.
Sorry, Mark.
But the all Liam Neeson team. Trey, who else is on it? Do you like his suggestions? Mark's suggestions of Pritchard and Rudy.
Yeah, I love it. And obviously you got to include Kevin Love, well known as the most famous outlet passer since Wes Unseld, who I think Kevin Love's middle name is named after Wes Unseld, right?
That's right, correct.
Each one teach one.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there will be another kid in 30 years from now with a middle name Love who's throwing outlet passes. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Peyton Pritchard, definitely a half-court shot specialist. Rudy Gobert, the only reason we know about screen assists.
That's right.
Here's some guys I would add. We talked about Moussa Diabate recently. Only offensive rebounds.
Hell yeah.
More offensive rebounds than points per game. That's awesome. I hope he finishes the season that way. Got some other ones to add to you. I think Jimmy Butler is the best at the cherry pick seal. So he'll be playing defense. They'll get the rebound. Butler leaks out. He's so good at sealing his guy at the free throw line so that then, for instance, Bam Adebayo or Kevin Love could throw the outlet pass over the top. And Jimmy Butler, since he's a football player, is good at holding the guy off and catching it and finishing at the rim.
Really good one.
Anthony Davis also very good at that, but Jimmy's a little smaller, so I'm giving him the credit.
Okay.
I think Tyrese Maxey has the best pizza pie layup in the game. right foot, right hand, tosses it up. Ball never gets to his left hand. Just kind of like scoop, setting it up like a nice, delicious pie. It's a me.
It's a me, a Maxi.
Tyrese a Maxi.
So sort of
a good one,
the Nash.
The Nash,
basically,
yep.
right? He's sort of adopted for sure. Okay.
Nick Vucevic has the best hook shot in the game. Shout out to Shot Creator. He takes the third most hooks per game, shoots 61% on them. The two guys ahead of him are Zubats, who shoots 57%, and Jokic, who shoots 54%. Ergo, it's Vucci, baby. Isaiah Hartenstein. The push shot floater.
Yeah.
Nobody else shoots it. Derrick Rose was the last guy to shoot a floater like Isaiah Hartenstein does. And last one, you saw the stats going around a lot last night. OG Anunoby is the best at blocking three-pointers. Did it on back-to-back possessions last night. He's leading the league in blocked three-pointers. He's good at it.
Great. All Liam Neeson team participants. Right. I'll add in, because he's still really good at it, plays for your Bulls, the slob wizard himself, Josh Giddey, on the sidelines. He just makes good passes when they draw up something there. He's still good at it. He really is. And you want him in that position. But I love all those suggestions. The only other one I had was like, Chris Paul sort of became the master of walking the dog. I think. I don't know who would challenge him.
I think Ja Morant's the best at it now.
He does do it a lot. Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe because now he's more youthful too. So it's like, you got to respect it more, right?
He takes it to such an extreme too. Like the ball stops rolling when he does it.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it happened the other night. I saw that. But Chris Paul, he's done it for like 20 years. So I'll give him the nod. But yeah, maybe Ja Morant has the title now. Anyone else?
I tried to stick with guys that have this one skill and only this skill. Jose Alvarado is the Grand Theft Auto guy.
Yep.
I mean, he's the only guy. He's the only guy with those beautiful steals. Then I went to old school guys that I remember just weren't incredible at other things. John Henson, if you remember that monster.
Oh yeah.
He had a great lefty hook. Didn't do anything else extremely well. But that's what he was there for. Andre Robertson, hell of a defender. Beyond that, I don't know. I mean, what was there? Andre Drummond, he keeps on saying he's the best rebounder ever to play the game. That's what he does right now. He's doing it damn well as a backup for the Bulls. He's good at that.
Sixers now.
Oh, yeah, the Sixers, yeah.
He's had a pretty poor season, but he can rebound. He absolutely can rebound, and he gets so many offensive rebounds because he misses so many putbacks, but he's right there to grab the board again.
Yeah, see, I haven't got him confused with the Bulls, even though I just watched him the other day be the great backup for the Sixers.
Against the Bulls.
Yeah, against the Bulls. Jakob Poeltl's a damn good offensive rebounder, and he's a push shotter. He's got a bit of the Isaiah Hartenstein.
A little bit.
Yeah, not as good.
It's different. I'd like to see RJ Barrett add a little floater to go back to him.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That guy does really try with his left hand to get to the glass every time. Respect. He drives all the time, but it'd be good for him to add a little floater there. I think he wouldn't have got blocked, for example, by OG if he had the floater in his arsenal.
Maybe, yeah.
Just a little one. It's not easy.
Maybe so.
Not easy. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are like masters at it for sure, even at the elite NBA level. So, all right, let's hear who else. Is that it? Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. That was good. We built like 3 teams there of all Liam Neeson teams. Next one.
Good one here. Good day, guys. Watching Quentin Grimes in Dallas, it's good to see a young player who some thought was a bust find success in a new location. Who else has restored their career in the early season? Buddy Hield in Golden State. He was basically unplayable in Philly last season. This is true. Mm-hmm. Who else made a comeback? Cheers. That's from Steve in Melbourne.
I'll go first on this one. I've got a very sort of like, not unique name. Well, I guess it is a unique name when I think about it, but a guy way down the pecking order. Shake Milton. That guy was a throw-in to the Mikal Bridges trade. It was a bunch of draft picks to obviously get Bridges to New York, but Milton was in that deal, and he's playing really well for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, part of it's opportunity. They have a lot of injuries. You know, Cam Thomas is out. He is getting a chance here, but I think he's playing some of the best basketball of his career, Shake Milton is. And last year, you probably even forget where Shake Milton played. He was like started on the Timberwolves.
Detroit, right?
Then he was on Detroit for 4 games.
Yeah.
And then, he played for the Knicks for 6 games. I mean, it looked like, I don't know, I hate to say it, but it was like looking like, I don't know, is this going to be the end of Shake Milton here? Is he going to be able to like hang on to this league? Yeah. And he's gotten a role, limited role, but he's really impressed me every time I see the Nets play. And I'm like, damn, Shake Milton. I remember when we were high on him as a young, promising Sixer, which he had a couple good first seasons for them. And then
Ben Simmons replacement.
That's right. Still. So, yeah, that's right. So Shake Milton, again, that is not a sexy name, but just the fact that he's having some success there in Brooklyn, when I thought maybe this guy would be out of the league. Who do you got?
Well, Dennis Schroeder, also on the team, is having his best season. He's not a young guy. He's 31 years old, and he's having an all-star type season, saying, somebody please take a chance. Take a chance on me. Also, I mean, Buddy Hield, he absolutely nails here. Buddy is like the classic cycle guy. If he's shooting 50%, you're loving it, and then he's shooting 30%, you're like, uh-oh. And then suddenly he's shooting 50% again. Yeah. Very weird. Ty Jerome, we've talked about him a little bit. Came out of nowhere. Basically, was injured most of last season for the Cleveland Cavaliers and just playing really well. And then Tass's favorite player this season, I think, is Dyson Daniels, who has become a player in the NBA, so much so that they invented a new award for him, Defensive Player of the Month. Didn't know it existed, but he was the clear guy in the Eastern Conference and is, you know, probably the buzziest Hawks player, I would say. I would have thought it'd be Jalen Johnson coming into this season. People are talking way more about Dyson Daniels.
Yeah. And in addition to that, DeAndre Hunter moving to the bench has played a lot better than he has as a starter, and I know a lot of it has to do with health and stuff like that, but it's all sort of linked together with the Dyson Daniels piece of it all. Yeah,
with Dyson Daniels, we finally realized or decided to talk about deflections per game. No one ever talked about that. I know not people aren't talking about it a lot. I mean, last year, was it a thing? I know it's part of the hustle categories on NBA.com, but he's a guy, who's just kind of under the radar in New Orleans. And he hasn't become an incredible shooter. He's got the exact same percentages, essentially. But the fact that he has a bigger role and he's still having the same efficiency and jumping from 6 points per game to 14 points per game and 3.2 steals per game, which leads the NBA, and deflections per game at 6.5, which leads the NBA. Yeah, he's probably the buzziest Hawk. It's totally true. The other night against the Lakers, he wasn't having an incredible game. But he does things like he's my Marcus Smart.
He is Marcus Smart.
Yeah, because you can't rely on him to have great shots. You can't rely on him to great shooting nights. But sometimes he's going to have
found money when he does. Yeah.
And he's going to shoot. And then at the end of the games, even though he's had a bad game, he'll play monstrous. He had 2 steals in 10 seconds. That steal against LeBron when LeBron chased him down as he went to the other, Dyson Daniels went to the other way and had a chase down block. I mean, 39-year-old Bron. That was cool. 2 steals in 10 seconds against the Lakers in OT after having a meh game. That's Dyson Daniels, who was, the new Marcus Smart. I'll give a little love to Chris Dunn as well. I know Chris Dunn's not having an incredible offensive year, but he's a defensive guy. And he wasn't getting a lot of recognition in Utah, although he was decent in Utah, but now he's getting some recognition. I think Najee Marshall is going to have a good season. I know he's come on late with Dallas, but he's shooting well, 54% from the floor. I mean, that guy could play a lot. He could be their Derrick Jones Jr. eventually. And I will say this, and it ain't a popular answer, but I'm liking Talen Horton-Tucker to be. I mean,
wow.
It's not good. It's not good. But he went from, hey, we're not trading him for Kyle Lowry when he was a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. We're not trading him for anything. And he went to Utah. Nah, he can't start as a point guard. Sorry, man. To Chicago, where it ain't pretty. But he is shooting 50% from 3.
Yeah, it is actually.
What?
Yeah, I know. I just looked at his numbers like, damn, Talen Horton-Tucker's actually balling right now.
It's 2 threes a game. That ain't a lot. And he's only playing 10 minutes a game. It ain't a prominent role.
No,
he's
like the 13th man.
Yeah.
He's a deep cut, very deep cut. But I will say he's better than he's ever been. That's
playing at home, baby.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. All right. Final question here. Hey guys, it's cybersecurity week again at work, and I like to think I'm pretty good at spotting a phishing email. But it got me thinking. What would you guys put in a phishing email or DM to trick an NBA sicko or No Dunks fan to click on a sketchy link? That's from Bennett in Santa Cruz. This is one of the funnier questions I think we've ever got. TK, do you have anything that you would put to trick somebody, be it a No Dunks fan or just an NBA fan, into clicking on something they shouldn't?
Yeah, I had to go scammer mode to come up with an answer for this, but I think I'm going to be able to trick you stupid fools. If I'm trying to trick a No Dunks fan, I'm offering $10 t-shirts from Breaking Tea. Those sold out in like a second.
They went like immediately.
Like as soon as the email was sent, they were gone.
Yeah.
So you're getting fished. And if you're an NBA sicko, I would send you a link that said, did you hear the new Zach Lowe podcast?
Ooh.
Oh, Zach Lowe has a new podcast? Nope. But I got your information.
That's good. I'd be clicking. I'd be like, damn.
What? I didn't hear that.
Okay, what do you got? Can you beat those?
I would just have a link of check out this photo of the No Dunks members without their beards. I think that would suck people in.
Oh, I was thinking along the
Yeah.
same lines. I wrote just in caps locks, Lee Ellis nudes. And see if anyone wanted to click. But you could pick any of us. I think that would maybe work. Do you have an NBA one at all along the Zach Lowe lines?
No, I don't. I didn't.
No? Okay. JD, anything? You can jump in here if you got something. You want to scam some of our fan base?
No, this question turned me off because I keep getting USPS texts.
Yeah.
And there's a postal strike in Canada. We literally have packages at the border. They're not coming over.
Oh, damn.
So
that's
it's
like
just
3 weeks running right now.
I know.
Canada Post strike. Yeah.
And I have to slap the phone out of Rachel's hand. Don't do it.
I said to, I think, Tass yesterday, I got one of those here after the show. Like it's something with your package or whatever.
Yeah,
And you're
exactly.
like, oh, damn, I am expecting a lot of packages at the holiday time.
Yeah, we're waiting for Jack Armstrong, Raptors broadcaster, his Christmas song album. We're waiting for it.
Where is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
At the border. Huh?
The border.
it's stuck,
man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, you're going home? Pick it up for us.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, okay.
Let's just go to the where do I go? The border?
I don't know.
That was great.
The border post
Just go to the border and say, hey, are the mail ain't getting through? Help them out a little bit. All right, thank you so much for all the questions and the tweets and the DMs. And I promise you, we're not going to be phishing you guys. Don't you worry. All those links in the show notes, they're all good. Go nuts. Let's talk a little bit, though, about the NBA Cup games tonight. We got our first set of single elimination games to send a couple teams to Vegas to play for the NBA Cup this coming weekend, which is also where we're headed. So let's just do a little mini preview here. First game, I want one thing you're watching for tonight, Tass, in Magic Bucks. This is Orlando in Milwaukee. Obviously, Orlando without Paolo Banchero, of course, and now no Franz Wagner. So this game lost a little bit of luster here. But what are you watching?
It lost a little bit of its juice, but the fact is the Magic are going to play hard, as they did the other night, beating Phoenix and claiming that they had a players-only meeting after Franz got hurt. They do play extremely hard, and I wonder how they're going to guard Damian Lillard in this game, because Dame had a couple bad games against Orlando last season. One of them was good, and then he had two poor ones where he shot 5 of 17 and 2 of 14. And now he's got a Suggs and a KCP running at him every single possession. Now, this guy is a monster in the first 6 minutes. That's what he does. He steps back beyond the three-point line and just does Dame. So we could see that, or we could see, a hungry KCP and a hungry Suggs.
Sort of bottle them up.
Yeah, see about that, because you got to expect Giannis to score a bunch. He had 35 and 37 against this Bucks team. Against this Magic team last year. This guy's a monster. He's just a monster. No Jonathan Isaac, probably. That would be nice to see those two giants go up against each other. He's questionable. But, obviously, without Franz and Banchero, they're going to have to stop those two dudes.
Make it a low-scoring game, yeah. Magic Bucks is the only one of the 4 NBA Cup quarterfinal matchups that we haven't seen yet this season, too. They haven't actually played a game against each other. Though the home team won all the games last year when they played. So there's that little note. What are you watching for in this?
Well, Joe Ingles' revenge game, of course. For me, it's the possession battle, because I don't really think the Magic can keep up scoring-wise, like you're saying, even though Orlando does have some decent options to throw at Lillard. You would love to see Isaac be able to play, because they would need him against Giannis. Maybe it ends up being a big Chris Middleton game, just because he's kind of like the leftover dude that they may not have a great matchup for. But if Orlando's going to keep competitive, they've got to get a ton of turnovers. They got to get a ton of offensive rebounds. They had this comeback win against Phoenix. They won the turnover battle 21-13. They won the offensive rebounding battle 14-9, thanks to Gogo Batadze. That turned into 5 more shots for Orlando. They won by 5 points. They need as many chances on offense as they possibly can get. And then they have to hope that Suggs has an awesome shooting night like he did playing against the Suns when he got really hot in the fourth quarter, was getting the crowd all fired up as well. Milwaukee, they're 9th in defensive rebound rate, 12th in turnover rate, so not ideal conditions for Orlando, but everybody can have a bad game, and I think that's what would do it for the Magic, is the Bucks being sloppy, looking across the court and saying, you got no scorers out there.
Yeah.
We're joking around. We're doing jokes tonight, so hopefully not.
Well, we'll be joking on playback tonight during this game. Magic Bucks, 7 o'clock Eastern. We're going to probably be on for a majority of the game, unless it turns into a yawner and turns into a blowout. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's entertaining. So join us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. The link to that playback room It's real. It's a real link. It's in the show notes, so you can go join our No Dunks playback room right now, and then you'll be notified when we go live again around 7 o'clock. Because I assume these games are starting sort of on time tonight.
Oh yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
You think tips at 7 or 7:10?
It is a
What do you
TNT
think?
game.
I know,
but they want to start the second game at 9:30.
Okay.
Ish.
I sort of
It's
agree
close.
with you. I think it's going to be closer to 7.
Oh yeah, it's
It's Milwaukee, though, right?
It's in Milwaukee.
That's 6
That's
o'clock
an
local
early
time?
Yeah.
Pretty early.
Damn. Good point.
I mean, either way. I mean, even if they tip at 7:30, it's pretty early. 6:30 is an early start.
Yeah, they're gonna give them max 7 minutes
Is
to
Red
get in
Panda
their seats.
Red Panda confirmed? I saw it was on the
I
playback.
just got a little lazy with the Photoshop. I just wanted to keep one of them.
Maybe she's there. Who knows?
She might be. It's a huge game. It's on
Huge
TNT.
game.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what the halftime act. You know what? We'll probably be. Well, no. I guess I was going to say we'll be watching the halftime act on playback, but it's not a League Pass game.
I mean, the Magic will keep it close though. Like the Nets just kept it close against the Bucks. But Magic play their ass off. I don't think.
They do.
I don't
They
think
do.
it'll be a Giannis. It won't be a Giannis Antetokounmpo early. Like we are gonna see a game. I think.
I'm not as convinced. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I don't know. I'm very excited for the second game
Yeah, this
at
is the game.
9:30. Mavericks-Thunder. Here we go. Mavs obviously knocked the Thunder out of the playoffs last season in a fun contest. They're the hottest team in basketball, I think, Trey. Dallas is right now. They've
On fire.
got a 7-game win streak. I think they've won maybe 11 to 12, 12 13. Obviously, the Thunder are a solid team, too. So what's one thing you're watching for Mavs-Thunder?
Donk versus Dort. Can't wait to see it. Since coming back, Luka Doncic has been awesome in his 4 games since the return. 31 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 9.5 assists, shooting 50 from the floor, 43 from 3, and 71% at the line. Can't make a free throw, but he's playing like a first-team All-NBA player, playing like an MVP candidate. All of his numbers are up since he sat down for a week to kind of get his body right for the rest of the season, because Luka was kind of struggling out of the gate. And you flash back to last year's series against the Thunder, Dort was giving him problems early on in the series, and Luka didn't like the physicality, and he was complaining to the referees nonstop, to the point where like he got guilted in to not complaining for a game. And afterwards he told Jared Greenberg, "Sometimes I forget this is a thing I love." Remember that? This guy was so angry with Lou Dort through the first 3 games of that series. Then he had one awesome focus game, and then he went back to complaining. But it's a 1-game thing. We'll see what Luka does, because I think this will be his biggest test since coming back. Because Dort's going to be all over him, fouling him every time down the court.
plays physical.
Exactly right. You foul on possession 1, they're going to let you do it on possession 39. So I'm excited to see that one.
Okay. What about you, Tass? What are you watching?
Yeah, I'm excited just to see Donk out there. Just have fun, man. It's the same thing that the Minnesota Timberwolves are saying to each other. Just smile, be happy, have fun. And Luka has been finding that, I think, recently. He's been so good. He's been so good. So, yeah, him against a team that I don't think gets enough publicity in the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know we all talk about them as being very, very good in the Western Conference. But they're still not playing on Christmas Day. They haven't played on Christmas Day since the Russell Westbrook was there. They just don't get the notoriety they do. So just them being on a bigger game. I know it's the NBA Cup. It ain't bigger for everybody, but it's big for some, and it's big for us. And they need more of this. And so I just look forward to this game. Again, like you said, Mavs are extremely hot, while the Thunder, where they are, I don't think people know how good they are. It's just a team that hasn't obviously executed a lot in the playoffs, so it's great to see a number 1 team in this game.
The Mavs are 1-0 against the Thunder this season. They beat them in a really close game. Hopefully we get something similar tonight. It was 121-119. That was back in mid-November. No Luka in that game. There was no Chet Holmgren, though, and there won't be tonight. There was no Caruso, and there was no Hartenstein. So, they were a little shorthanded. Obviously no Luka for the Mavs, but they got the victory. I'm excited, just like you said with that first game, Trey, watch the turnovers, because that's what the Thunder do to teams. They continue to force turnovers at just an incredible rate. Schumann in his latest power rankings, this blew my mind. Last season, OKC led the league with 12 games of forcing at least 20 turnovers. OKC already has 10 of those games this season, a quarter of the way through and change. So, I mean, they just get up in you, and then they just keep bringing guys off the bench to play with intensity and play good defense. So that's the number 1 defense in the league against one of the best offenses in the league. Should be a good game. That's the second one at 9:30 Eastern.
Who do you think's going to guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Because last year it was Derrick Jones Jr. He was awesome. He's on the Clippers. Najee Marshall, maybe. He's questionable with an illness.
Oh, really?
PJ Washington, Maybe. He's questionable with an illness as
Jeez,
well. He
everybody's sick? What's
yeah,
going
they're
on?
all sick. Well, they're in the same locker room in the same plane all the time.
I
I
know.
know those guys aren't masking. No. 23 for 49 from 3 last season in the playoffs. PJ Washington went against the Thunder.
That's when he caught fire.
He was
yeah.
on fire.
Yeah.
They needed the three-point shooting to beat OKC. OKC's a better three-point shooting team this year. No Giddey. Obviously, they'll be missing Chet Holmgren, but last year it was so easy for the Mavs to guard OKC. They only had to worry about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they had a guy who was as athletic as Shai and Derrick Jones Jr. with the length to actually challenge him. If PJ can't go, if Najee can't go, it might be tough for Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll see some Quentin Grimes on him off the bench, probably. But it is an interesting dilemma that the Mavs have just going forward when they start Kyrie and Luka and Clay. You just need somebody to throw at a guy like Shai, and that's why Clay may go to the bench in the right situation for whether it's Najee Marshall or Quentin Grimes at some point down the road.
So those are the only 2 games on tonight. NBA Cup quarterfinal action. One of them, of course, is our pick'em game. It is going to be this one, Tass. This Dallas OKC game. I guess, was this line smaller than the Magic Bucks one? What was that one then? Do you know?
It was.
Okay.
It was. I think that one was 7.5.
Okay, that makes sense. No frauds, yeah.
I can get there really fast if I have
Yeah.
good Wi-Fi signal. So I want to say the exact number. Although this page on BetMGM took a while to load, it's still loading.
No,
and
don't
I
worry
clicked
about
on
it.
it seconds ago.
Oh, jeez.
What's going on? Hold on. Why isn't it loading?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, you want to
Accept
know
your
my
cookies.
area? No, I ain't accepting anything.
Oh,
no,
Jesus.
this is location. It wants to know my location.
I think you're getting
Anyway,
scammed right now. Don't click on that, Tass. Jesus, what are you doing?
they want to know
They
where we
wanna
are.
know.
They want to know where we are right here, right now. Anyway, it's 4.5-point line here for OKC, favored at home to Dallas.
Okay.
It's a reasonable line. OKC has to win by 5. Trey and myself think OKC will do just that. Well, Skeets and Esh taking the Mavs at plus 4.5, so they can
Yeah,
lose by
get some
4 or
points.
obviously win this game.
That's right. That's right. I mean, again, one of the hottest teams in the league. Hopefully it's close. I think the Thunder, when they do win, they generally win in a blowout. I think they lead the league in like net rating. But in all their close games is what, like a lot of their losses, right? They come up a little short. So we'll see. Got some points to play with, Esh and I. We're on the opposite ends of the spectrum right now in December. I'm 5-1. He's 1-5. But together, we're working together tonight. Go Dallas. You guys got OKC. Can't wait. Again, we'll be live on playback for that first game at 7 p.m. Eastern. What time will it tip? We're going to find out together. I'll go live at 7. And then we'll see if they're tipping that thing up at 7:03 or 7:07, and hopefully not 7:30.
No good here on the stream team said tip is 7:13.
Oh, okay.
7:13.
There you go, Tass.
What information do you have? No good. What do you know?
What do you know?
What do you know?
We don't know. I guess it's TNT. We're getting Ernie and the boys.
Well, let's just go down the
Ernie
street.
and the
It's here in
boys.
Atlanta. Let's knock on the door. What time is tip? Need to know.
I'll text Ernie after this. Ernie, what time is tip tonight? We have to know for playback.
need to know.
Thanks for joining us here today. Everybody live on YouTube. Love to see it. Again, hit the like button and subscribe. And hopefully see you tonight on playback. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, the Milwaukee Bucks are favored by 7.5 against the Orlando
You
Magic.
got it. You found it.
Yeah, it was a lot easier just to hit old Google because I'm busy. I just wanted my location here on BetMGM. What state do you pick when you go to BetMGM? 'Cause it always
always
asks you what state you're in to determine
it does.
what your betting laws are.
Always Pennsylvania.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Illinois for me.
That's fair.
Hometown.
Yep.
Yeah, I go New
What do you
Jersey.
go?
I go New Jersey.
Yeah, I saw New Jersey.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
choice. Atlantic City.
yeah, exactly. Betting pretty legal.
Embrace the day, people.